game. Time to play the game!
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Knows Everything Podcast, special edition TFC Roundtable. In the house today, we've got Dante, NIKO, the real Marco G, and Mr. Mario PILEGGI. We're talking all things TFC and Canadian soccer and MLS, and a little bit of a sprinkle of maybe Champions League and some Serie A. Today we're going to talk about what is going down with TFC. They just finished playing the Earthquakes here at BMO. 5th consecutive game where they haven't been able to pick up a win. We're going to talk about what's going on and what they can do to fix this. So let's start over here, Dante. I know you played with somebody. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Richie Larea.
You scored one of the goals.
So happy for him. You know, growing up with him, he's a phenomenal guy. Amazing work ethic, phenomenal endurance, and I couldn't be more happy for the guy. Very nice person. Congratulations on your first MLS goal. More to come, Richie, and keep playing the way
What was he like as a young player?
Oh, he was clearly one of the best.
Did he have the drive? Did you know that he wanted to go pro?
You can tell 5 seconds into every game. I mean, he was the hardest worker on the field. He'd win every ball. He played center mid. Win every single ball. Run like a gazelle, and just incredible stamina. I used to run with him cross country, and you couldn't keep up with this kid. You really couldn't.
What club did he play at here in Toronto?
So he had a couple. So I started in the many days with Uruguay with him. Then he went to Sigma FC, and then from there he got a scholarship to Akron, Ohio, then got drafted to Orlando, and
it's amazing. It says a lot about Canadian soccer. We're seeing a lot more and more homegrown talent making it to the big leagues, which is something we want to see. NIKO, 2-1 loss for TFC. 5th time in a row that they haven't been able to pick up a win. What's going on?
No Pozuelo means no game, no competition. Like, we're not playing hard at all. We're missing every single shot. We're not taking any shots on net. Larea, great game. Should have had at least 3 goals, man. Like, he had so many chances. We had so many guys. Delgado with the ball at his foot and he doesn't shoot. I get it. He has no shot, but at least try. Like,
what's the story with Delgado? We've been talking about it for weeks and weeks. Delgado does not produce, and yet we see him time and time again starting. When is he going to sit?
You know what? I'll call a spade, but I'll also admit when I'm wrong. Delgado, the past few games, his passing has been better. His passing has been better, but he has no shot. And what's worse is when he gets in those positions where he should take the shot, now he's getting scared and not taking it. I'd rather him miss than not shoot at all and we squander a chance. But he's not doing it now. So you know what? Now he's flip-flopping. It's terrible.
He's been given many opportunities by Vanny, and Vanny keeps giving him another chance. How many times does he have to be given an opportunity to prove himself? And frankly, at the end of the day, he doesn't produce. His passing might get a little better now in the last couple of games, but frankly, he hasn't performed well this entire season. And for that, he deserves to sit. What do you think, the real Marco G?
I think if he's afraid to take the shots, what a guy that's confident. You know, like going to what NIKO said, you gotta shoot. You'd rather take the shot than not take the shot. It's not like the way I see it. If he's not producing, the bench is a nice safe home for him. If he doesn't want to produce,
right. Sometimes players need a reminder. Sitting a couple of games will remind you: are you hungry? Do you want to be on that field?
Did you earn
want to be the starter?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You want to start, you gotta earn the spot because that's the way we were all raised, guys. I'm sure we all agree with that.
Absolutely.
It's not that.
So why is it the Vanny keeps giving him another shot? Why do you think?
I don't know. Maybe.
And I don't think we're the only pundits to say, hey, you know what? He's not producing. Maybe he shouldn't be starting. Why do you think he keeps starting?
I think he's getting a percentage of his pay so he can pay for his kids over there at the academy. That's what I think is going on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Mario, what's the issue with TFC? Why have they not been able to pick up a win in the last 5 games?
I'm just going to call it. I think that it's going right to Vanny. This coach lost the team. He lost the team. Last game, the last 20 minutes, I was sitting right there, right behind the bench. All I heard were season ticket holders right behind me saying, Vanny, you gotta go. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, to call it. You know, I'm going to predict over here. I think Vanny's gone before the end of the season.
Could be.
I don't see him finishing.
Could be. And you know what? You see a serious lack of enthusiasm on his part. You see the bench in a slumber. It's not working. Something is up. Bill Manning's got to be seeing it. You see it in the stands because people aren't showing up to the games. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I see less and less people in the stands as each week goes by. If they continue to lose, those numbers will continue to shrink. It's going to really hit the pocketbook. That's when they'll probably pay attention. NIKO, you think Vanny finishes the season with TFC, or is he gone before the end of the season?
I think they let him finish the season. I said it the last time too. He's there until the end of the season. Off season, do they let him go? Maybe.
NIKO, would it be a good idea for him to finish the season? Right? You gotta see that, right? We'll call a spade. Tony and I were at one of the first games where we got to ask a question to Ali Curtis, and I called him out on it in the club, in the Tunnel Club, and I said, Ali, I said, you were quoted saying that this is going to be your rebuild season. This 19 season was going to be an opportunity for you to actually rebuild the players. What do you think's happening right now? They can't let him finish the season if they have a new coach going to come in and actually try to gel the team. They're going to use the remaining games this season to actually try to have some synergy. There's no synergy right now.
Well, that's the thing. Is it Vanny's fault, or is he a scapegoat for Ali Curtis not supplying Vanny with the talent needed?
I think both. They both need to go. I think Ali Curtis has picked the wrong guy as coach. I know Vanny's been coach for the last couple of years, but it is time for Vanny to go. I'm going to give you a big picture idea, and sometimes it's a little outlandish, but today Gennaro Gattuso from AC Milan resigned.
I knew that was going to
coach. I've been saying it for weeks. You need a guy like that. If you listen to his interview today, he says, you know why he resigned? Because he felt that his guys weren't given 110%. He felt more passionate than they did, and he refuses to coach a team that isn't as passionate as he is. And if you look at Vanny on the bench, he is expressionless. There's no expression on his face. Once in a while he'll grimace, but aside from that, he comes there looking like he's posing for GQ, and he is not displaying the intensity you need to pick a team up, especially when they're in the dumps, and you got to pull them out, and you got to be hardcore. There are moments when you got to inspire as a coach. You don't need to always make it a teaching moment as a coach. You got to inspire. He is not inspiring at the moment. You don't need to teach Altidore how to score. Altidore knows how to score. You don't teach Bradley how to be a captain. He knows how to be a captain. The problem is Vanny doesn't know how to be a coach right now. That's the problem. You need to get rid of him, bring in a real guy. I would love to see Gennaro Gattuso here. I guarantee you they'll sell out every single game if they brought him in. It'd be worth the investment. The guy would come for $500,000. I'm telling you. Believe me.
Yeah, MLSE won't pay it though.
They should pay it. It'll be a good business.
The numbers. Sunday night I was speaking to one of the senior sales guys for TFC. He says to me, Sunday night games were one of the toughest to sell out. The best night that we've had so far this spring-summer season. Best night, best temperature. Everything was perfect about it. They announced 23,000. There were not 23,000 people in that stand. I could guarantee you there were not 23,000 people there.
So Mario, at the DC United game, just for shits and giggles, I went up to the ticket counter booth. I'm a season ticket holder, so I didn't really need tickets. I said, what tickets you got available? The guy told me they have tickets in every section available, from the front row right up to the 200s. Anywhere I wanted, he said, pick. There were seats available everywhere. They are not selling that stadium out. And I'm telling you, with the enthusiasm of the Raptors and what's happening in Toronto, less and less people will watch TFC, especially if they continue this slide. And let me tell you something else about these ticket sales guys. MLSE, you have the worst ticket sales associates in the history of the world. They could not sell shit to a shit store. Let me tell you, these young guys, and I feel bad for them because obviously nobody's trained them. Teach these guys how to sell a damn ticket. I get there, I want to buy tickets, I tell the guy, give me the best tickets you got, and he's like, why don't you buy these 200s? You got 4 kids, it'll be cheaper for you. Who the hell says that? I'm there to buy a Cadillac, and you're trying to sell me a Toyota. It doesn't work. Listen, MLSE, you got to get your shit together, because right now, things are on the downward spiral. They're going to get worse. Do you guys agree?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, Vanny, I totally agree with Mario here. He's not for this season. He's not. He has to go because the collapse is going to continue.
Well,
it's going to continue.
Tony was saying that he's expressionless, right? He doesn't have any emotion. The only emotion that I see is when he's speaking to his assistant coach, when he's telling him to go call a sub in at the 80th minute. How are you changing your players at the 80th minute when these guys are gassed?
You got it.
Yeah. Altidore should have been gone at half, and I love him. His presence on the field, the quick.
But he's not the same Altidore that we saw in years past. He is no longer the presence.
He will be back.
I think he'll do well on another team. I think he'll do well on another team.
He'll be back.
He has not been the same since Jovinko was traded. We saw Jovinko at the last match. actually I was very surprised, was with Bill Manning in one of the boxes, watching the game. Really, he was here to watch the Raptors. He came for the Raptors game, and then he ended up watching the TFC game since he was here for the weekend. He flew on the Sheik's private jet from Saudi Arabia, so no expense to him. Doesn't matter. Bill Manning gives him a free box, brings his kids, eats some popcorn, all is good. At the end of the day, I'm telling you guys, we got serious problems here for Toronto soccer. I've seen it before. I'm old enough to tell you guys that the Blizzard had 50,000 people at CNE Stadium, and they went down to 3,000 or 4,000 people a game, and they folded. So do not think because this is MLSE ownership that it can't happen here in Toronto, because it really can.
But Toronto wants a winner, right?
Absolutely.
So once we have a winner and we have a team that actually is performing and winning, we will show up. We're there. Because we love the sport.
Yeah, I've been there since day one. I was there when they were shit as shit could be. And you know, everyone's cheering Danny Dicchio. Danny Dicchio should have been playing D-League basketball, not soccer.
Hey, Danny, go join the Raptors.
Listen, he's got a great song that everybody cheers and chants because we got nothing else. When you got nothing else, you cheer for the best, whether it's good or not. And no, it's not a slight on him, but that's all we had at the time. That's all we had. And I watched that crap week in, week out. I paid for the damn tickets. I still paid $13 for a beer in 2007. But at the end of the day, I received a crappy product. I'm starting to receive a crappy one again now. Marco, you agree? Did you buy the $13 beer?
I'm going to buy the $4 beer. Come on, bro. I'm Italian. I bring my bottle of wine from home and I just pay and give it to them for the recycling goal. You know what I'm saying?
So, NIKO, what's your assessment of the overall ambiance and the feel of what's happening with Toronto FC in terms of fans? Because you got a lot of friends who are fans.
In terms of fans, it's super tough for TFC right now because there's a bunch of stuff going against it. The Raptors making this run is a huge impact to TFC because if you notice, whenever they're playing the games, it's around the same times, and no one's caring about soccer here, other than the diehard.
That's for another 2 weeks.
That is temporary. You're right, but that's what I'm saying. Right now, it's hindering them. What else is hindering them is this terrible weather. Canada is a bunch of fair weather soccer fans. There's a lot of diehards, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of ones that aren't coming out.
Night ever for soccer, Sunday night.
But what night
Not
is
even
it?
20,000 people were
what
there.
night
Sunday
was it?
night.
Sunday. That's a terrible night for soccer.
Well, you know,
So you were saying the same thing that these salespeople said. What an excuse! Why not get your people out there at 7 o'clock to watch a game? What's the problem?
Why can't the game be at 3 o'clock on a Sunday?
Why not do some creative marketing like they do in the U.S.? In the U.S., you go watch a Tampa Bay Rowdies game in the USL. They're doing $2 beers. They're doing loony popcorn for the kids. They're doing promos. Is MLSE too good for that? Is it that, you know what, they can't stoop down a level? Is it that they have to continuously charge $30 for parking and $13 for a beer? I don't get it. Promote the families. That's your market. Otherwise, you're going to lose at least a few people to all these other sports, right? Like, people are jumping on the baseball bandwagon because we got that young guy who's Guerrero. People are on the Raptors bandwagon. And hey, we got CPL, we got the Canadian Premier League. We had at least 100 fans in the last game. So, you know, you might get 150 if TFC keeps playing like crap. At the end of the day, it is shitty weather, but people in England live through shitty weather, and they go watch every game.
And it's on Sunday.
We were there first day of CONCACAF with the rain over us, okay? We were there.
Hey, in Russia, let me tell you, they clean the snow at half-time. And they play with the gloves, the sweater, the earmuffs, everything. Zenit St. Petersburg is champion year after year after year with minus 20. They're playing soccer at minus 20.
Want to know why? Want to know why? Because they're real sports fans. And I hate to say, people might hate me, Toronto soccer fans are not real diehard soccer fans.
They're not.
We are probably the lowest level soccer fan in the planet. I hate to say it, but you know what? There's no support for soccer in this country. No real support, right? We don't have a real base, a strong base, a diehard base. It doesn't exist. You can see it, guys. And they're trying every which way. We had a question tonight. If, Mario, you want to announce that this podcast is actually going to be on audio coming up, right? You got a website that you built, and we already got a question.
We're gonna be working it out right now. It's gonna be TFCRoundtable.com. You're gonna be able to check us out. You're gonna be able to download us on all your audio platforms. Just stay tuned for more information. There's gonna be links in the bio on the Toe Knows Everything YouTube channel. So just make sure that you check that out, and we're gonna be giving you some strategic information for you in the next couple of weeks.
And we already started getting questions like, hey, why didn't former Canadian Pro Leagues work like the CPSL? I was part of that league with the York Region Shooters. And the reason, again, it doesn't work is because we do not support our local talent. We don't support our local teams. We're not going to spend $5, $10 to come out and watch the 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids we don't support. That's the bottom line. Soccer culture is not hockey culture, and I even think it's not basketball culture. So we are probably a fourth-tier sport in this country, and until we can overcome that, we're always going to struggle.
And it's a shame. 2026 is around the corner. We need to put a product on the field to represent our country, and we're not even there. This is the time that we should be thriving. You know, I just want to jump ship very quickly because we didn't spend a lot of time talking about Javinko.
Right.
We gotta bring up the fact that he was at the last game. Great. Everybody was happy. I was one of those people that were cheering. I can assure you that the Sebastian Javinko chant that the supporters section tried to instill into the entire stadium did not last more than a minute.
Yeah, he's forgotten. Out of sight, out of mind.
I couldn't believe it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
You could not continue the applause for that individual in that stadium. And I'm just going to bring up another quick point. 2 games ago, when Rooney was there, I ended up running it with. I ended up watching the game with my father, who's 83 years young. What a champ! I saw Bill Manning.
Sharp dress, by the way.
He is very sharp dressed. The guy is a champ. So I'm sitting with my dad. We're in the club. And I see Bill Manning. I call Bill Manning over, more importantly, because I want to get a picture with him and my father. Secondly, I gave him shit. And I told him, I said, as an Italian Canadian, I feel very, very, very badly for you for not instilling a culture by thanking the Italian Canadian community for what we did for Sebastian Javinko. You didn't even give him a formal send-off. You did not say thank you. All you did in the last 80th minute say grazie Seba right on the big billboard, the banner, whatever it was. What kind of send-off was that? You didn't even post it on social media. All you did was show a picture of his face without any highlights, without any goals. This guy produced all kinds of stuff.
And he's the greatest player of all time on TFC. Like TFC.
But best player
And MLS MVP, goal-scoring leader.
Make it a night for him. Show that his jersey is going to be placed on the wall of honor.
Yeah.
Right? You don't do anything.
No, they didn't give a crap about it.
I believe it will. I believe this was the first step in mending the fence because you gotta remember he did leave.
NIKO,
it was a bad breakup.
The guy was here in the box. I saw with my own eyes him sitting with me.
Yeah.
What was the purpose of that?
That's mending the fence. That's fixing the relationship because they did have a bad breakup on both sides. TFC handled it terribly and Giovinco handled it terribly.
As an Italian Canadian, I am embarrassed that they did not do that. You know how much money the Italian Canadian community spent in that stadium?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you weren't there. I was part of launching that young man. I was part of making sure that I was in those meetings and hearing how they were going to bring him to the Italian Canadian community. And I told Bill Manning that. I said, with all the
you helped organize the Italian Heritage Day there, right, where you sold out the stadium.
We've done so many Italian Heritage Night events over there, so we were good enough to sell you tickets, but we're not good enough to receive some sort of gratification or thank you that we've done something for you guys. It's not fair. It's not fair.
That's why we gotta stop doing this stuff for companies that don't care. At the end of the day, if we're bringing our community out there, guys, so we're selling them tickets, and then they're gonna treat our guy like a nothing nobody. When we all know he united the team from like this to win a cup. I think you tell them this, guys, it's not going to work. It's not right.
It's not TFC though, right? It's MLSC.
Exactly.
We know there's issues there.
Exactly.
This is not new.
And it's not just one team they have problems with.
Yeah. Although, as we know, MLS in general, like I just watched an amazing promo video with David Beckham and his new team in Miami. I don't know if you saw the new stadium, the proposed stadium. He's going to be bringing over serious players. You mark my word, Ronaldo will be here in the MLS. He'll be in Miami. He's already started talking to David Beckham. Ronaldo's 34 years old. Another year or two with Juve, he'll be in Miami.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
He's got 3 more years on this contract.
He's going to elevate the league. Okay, David Beckham will elevate this league, and by bringing over some, even though they're older players, guys will use
ownership too.
Actually, if you guys noticed, Beckham was spotted talking with Harry Kane.
With a bunch of Neymar Jr. He's talking to all the guys over
Yeah, so Harry Kane comes over, Neymar, possibly Ronaldo after, maybe Buffon after 2 years at PSG.
My point is that we need owners who are passionate about the game like a David Beckham. He played his entire life, grinded through several different leagues. He's played everywhere, La Liga, in England, Serie A, MLS. So he knows the soccer culture of every continent. He's the type of guy who wants to win a championship, who can bring cities together, and who can maybe act as a model for other cities and MLS teams.
I'll still never forget the game he played here.
Where he sat on the bench
Well, there was that one.
for most of the time. That pissed me off because I was dying to see
I
it.
was going to say the All-Star game. That turnout was absolutely incredible. I think from that moment on is where MLS really kicked off.
Absolutely.
But now it's stalled. Like right now it's flatlined, and it's flatlined because there's too many people that are comfortable with how they're at. Look, I've said this to Tony several times. I believe that our real estate in BMO Field is going to blow up. There's going to be a time in the next 5 years that people are going to be calling off the hook, just like Leaf tickets and Raptors tickets, saying, "Can you please take me to the game?" Because our league will get to there. But it's unfortunate.
It's not happening today.
I don't see that. Honestly, that's the one problem with fans here, I think, too, is because, you know, you have your hockey, you have your basketball, these are the top leagues in the world. MLS isn't even a top 10 league in the world.
It will be. They're going to get people, the North American sport, we got the media, we got the coverage, we got the endorsements, you got your big ticket people here.
Don't have the money, though.
We will get the money. When big players come here and the MLS starts changing their perspective on how they get some people here, think about it. We get 3 DPs right now. You think that's going to last?
It can. If you want to make it big, it can.
But that's what I'm getting at.
And it's even little things too, like branding. You can't have Adidas sponsoring the whole league. Let each team negotiate their own contracts. You can't be having MLS run every team. It's a joke.
It's a socialist communist system. Basically, you know, you've got this one company feeding everybody. It doesn't work.
Which hinders their growth.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's why relegation is so good. You don't perform, you get relegated. We don't have that here. That's a European model that works for a reason, because you got to fight for your spot at the top. You don't just get it guaranteed whether you make the playoffs or not. That's a ridiculous system of staying at the top and being in peak performance. Doesn't work. Relegation works. They should consider something like that here. I don't know if it ever will happen, but it's definitely something they should consider if they want to keep the quality.
CPL is doing what I think MLS should do and split season it.
Right. That's
do you like the mix of the Apertura and the Closera? Like, the split season makes so much sense.
Right.
I don't know why it's not done.
Yeah.
And you'll see this year that it'll make the CPL look a lot better doing that than just a whole season with playoffs.
I think it's a lot to do with the American teams as opposed to Canadian teams, because we're in an anomaly over here. There's only a handful, less than a handful.
It's true.
So how much say do we really have? I believe that we have one of the top stadiums in all of the MLS, but what does that speak to? That just speaks to the fact that Larry Tannenbaum and everybody else has a shitload of money in our bank account that we can build these things. We can build the real estate, we can build what we want. But we'll see. 2026 is around the corner, guys, and the stadium's going to go through a revamp, the league's going through a revamp, Beckham's going to launch very soon. Let's see how the dominoes fall, but it's going to work.
And believe me, go ahead, Don.
I'll make a prediction before 2026. Alfonso Davies.
Yeah, who's with Bayern Munich right now.
He's going to be starting on that team. You mark my words. And
starting on Bayern Munich?
He's going to start on Bayern Munich. It's a very bold prediction, one day. However, that's going to spark a youth movement. Because all it takes is one superstar anyway.
We have a youth movement. Do you know that Canada has the highest rate of recreational players anywhere in the world? We've got a million players. The money's there. It's misappropriated. We don't have the right people who understand how to organize and structure leagues and youth systems so that we have a development system that actually is successful. Because we've tried everything. We've copied New Zealand, and we tried OPDL, and we've tried a million and one things. It never works. We have the wrong people. It's a total joke. We've got the wrong people. Academies have been fighting. Club teams. We're fighting. Every little city, like you got York Region. Do you know how many youth clubs are in York Region? Way too many. Way too many. And there's also way too many academies. You cannot divide and conquer. We're supposed to be united. You want to create a great national program? You got to be united. We are not. And I don't think we will be anytime soon. Unfortunately, that's one of the problems with multiculturalism. I'm all for multiculturalism, but not in sports. Because we got the Spanish League playing at Jane and Finch. We got the Italian League in Woodbridge. We got the English League in Richmond Hill. We got the Cherry Beach League with the Scottish. Everybody's an ethnic group. We're all divided. How can you have all these divisions and then come together and say, hey, let's gel as one team, Team Canada? Not going to work. Not going to work.
I've seen it with other countries, the smaller countries, and all it takes is one superstar.
Right.
Dante, how many times are we going to talk about this? We don't have a European influence here to start showing us how the game's supposed to be played. That we have to start breeding creativity. We're breeding technical plays.
Yeah,
if we keep on thinking with our mind and not thinking with our heart and wearing it on our sleeves and being able to be players, it's never going to work.
But soccer, youth soccer, and development in this country is not like it is in Europe or in South America, where it's a lifestyle. They have soccer academies where you go to school, you train, eventually you make the team academy, then you make the Primavera team, and then you go on, and then there's different levels. You're in the B team, and then possibly the A team. We don't have that here. Here, you know what soccer is? It's part-time fun. Okay, coach goes, you want to be a recreational coach, one weekend you go to a park, they teach you how to kick a ball, hey dad, congratulations, here's your team. And from there maybe you can get a B license, and maybe 5 years down the line because your son won the Ontario Cup, you decide to get an A license, and then, you know, so on and so on.
Half the kids that actually have the promise go to Europe when they're young.
Absolutely.
They don't stay here.
You got it.
Like,
And then we lose them right away.
And then we lose them to picking somewhere, like if they have Italian descent, now all of a sudden they decide they want to play for Italy. If they have a Spanish descent, now they want to play for
Which
Spain.
will never happen because Italian Canadians
Mark
are
Reed,
considered Italian. They would never play an Italian kid from Canada because we're not considered Italian. And that's what we have to
Italian
decide.
American was on the team for a while.
Yeah,
Right, yes, absolutely. That's Rossi.
No, I know just what I'm just saying, but
Giuseppe
again,
Rossi.
one of 11.
Giuseppe Rossi, yeah, absolutely.
So
And
you
he did it.
never know. If they're good enough, I guarantee they play.
If you want to talk about politics, that's a shitload of politics.
No, of course, of course.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, guys, we have some good ideas. Like, I think the CPL is a good idea, but do I think it'll be successful commercially as a business, which it needs to be to continue to run? No, it's not going to happen. I can see it already. If you cannot sell out your first game, your home opener, you can't sell it out even after you gave out 500 tickets, you got a serious problem.
Talking about CPL, your prediction came true. Do you see what happened with the Vaughan Azzurri versus Halifax?
Absolutely.
They tied 3-3 on aggregate, so they didn't go through. But how are you tying a League
There
One
you go.
Ontario
So
team?
you're telling me Halifax is a pro team and they can't beat a local Vaughan team?
Yeah, and the funny thing is they tied 3-3, but one of the legs they lost 1-0 at home.
Kudos to Vaughan, because I tell you, those guys can play in the CPL. They got some amazing coaches. They got Patrice over there. They got Carmen Insako, who's the technical director. They got a whole bunch of guys who should be coaching Team Canada. They're the top guys. Vaughan has got the top guys. Kudos to Vaughan. They beat Halifax in Halifax. A CPL team, which is considered a pro team. Phenomenal achievement. Phenomenal achievement. So kudos to them.
Yeah, just to go quickly about on the CPL, with all due respect to the people that are on our bench for TFC and even some of the starters, we need to send them into the CPL to get their legs going and get minutes under them. Because right now, you really need, with all due respect, we don't need Jay Chapman, we don't need Hamilton to play right now. We need them to blow up the CPL to make sure that that's growing. And then when they're ready, they can have a spot back.
You need someone that's marketable there.
Well, going back to the marketing, it doesn't matter how marketable you are. If we're producing, it doesn't matter what your name is. That's what The Rock says, okay? Now, what I've seen, there's a team in the CPL called Calvary.
No, they're killing it.
7-0, guys. I haven't seen no Instagram video, no big mouth thing on social media, no nothing. Nick Ledger, when I spoke with him in person at the kit reveal, he goes, Marco, my plan is we don't care what anybody else is doing. We're going to train and worry about us one game at a time. And you know what? His prediction came true. They're going to crush every team. They're 7-0, ladies and gentlemen. People, listen, York 9, I have many friends that play on that team. And they're promoting like they're superstars. They're wearing suits like they're models. Guys, you got to have mud on your face. Don't be a disgrace, like the song.
You know why sports works in the West? Look at the CFL. CFL football works in the West. You go to the stands, it's a great atmosphere. There's nothing else. It's hockey and football. This is why soccer can be successful there. And it was for years in Edmonton and Vancouver with the Whitecaps. Very successful. Even in Halifax. Halifax is going to do well. But you know what? Toronto's a saturated market.
It is.
CPL work
They got to
here.
stretch it out. Calgary's farm team is the USL Calgary Foothills.
Right.
And Calgary Foothills gives people beatings left, right, and center.
Right.
So, like going back to with the two-tier system, we do have to do relegation. They have to do it. They have to. CPL. Guys, CPL, like you said, the marketing part, okay, they got to get those people fired and get someone else in there. They can't sell tickets. But for the coach of the Calgary, what he's doing, crushing teams, 7-0, it says a lot. What do you think?
Good for them, 100%. It says one of two
Calgary,
things.
bro.
It says one of two things. It either says the rest of the teams are freaking garbage, or it says that these guys have been training, working harder, longer than all the other teams, because some teams have only really been together for 3 months, and they've been together with the foothills for a long time. They got a big competitive advantage, so it's one of those
local talent.
Absolutely.
But if you're all local boys,
If you're going to use that analogy, and you're going to say that, do we have to lay off a bit on the fact that we haven't had Pozuelo and Altidore playing together enough to really say that we're a contending team?
No, it does take time. No, it takes time to gel. You're right about that. 100% agree. But in terms of, listen, you want to go pro, there's 7 teams, 5 of which are brand new, they're all together. I'll say Calgary and maybe Pacific, they've had a lot of time together, even growing up those players, they play in the same. And Forge as well, because it's a Sigma team.
Right.
So Forge is a heavy team, Calgary's a heavy team, Pacific is actually the most expensive team. They're the highest paid, okay, in terms of their players. Are they producing? Definitely not.
What, like 20,000?
No, but what's the... Okay,
no,
you just said it.
So they're actually 2.2 million.
Some players making...
No.
The average salary, I think, is 40K.
The entire team
Average
is paid.
annualized salary, because I looked into it today, the average annualized salary of a CPL player is $15K if you break it up over 12 months. Okay, they make peanuts.
That's an embarrassment.
They make
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
You can work part-time at McDonald's as a student and make more than $15,000.
So,
It's
Right?
true.
And eat.
right. So, you know what, guys, at the end of the day, listen, we wish them luck because I want to see success in Canadian soccer. But under this structure, it's not going to happen. I do want to give kudos to Team Canada, the female Team Canada, because they've got the World Cup coming up. I watched the game, Team Canada versus Mexico, and I swear to you guys, the Team Canada, the female Team Canada, could give any CPL team a run for their money, and I would venture to say they beat them to death because they were phenomenal. The ladies were phenomenal, and it was exciting soccer. I would pay any day of the week to watch that soccer. They pumped Mexico, I think 5-1 or something, or 4. No, 3 or 4, maybe even 5. I'll give them 6. They pumped Mexico 6-0. You can check that later. Anyways, at the end of the day, I would pay any day of the week to watch those ladies because they were phenomenal. Technically and tactically, much better than a lot of these men's teams.
I'd say that'd be a great charity event. They get the women's team against the champion of the CPL.
Yeah,
see who's the best.
When they come back from the World Cup in France, because they're playing the female World Cup in France. Good luck to Team Canada, the females, because I think they can do it.
But this is what I'm saying by a leader. Christine Sinclair is the leader. And every little girl, I can tell you in Canada,
looks up to her. Looks up to her.
I can tell you nobody's looking up to Bradley, eh? Nobody's looking up to Bradley and saying, I want to be like you, Bradley.
No, I understand that. But I'm saying, I'm predicting Alphonso Davies is going to be the guy.
Yeah, he could be. He could very well be. But you know what? Canada's going to ruin him at the national level.
Oh, yeah.
Canada is going to ruin him at the national level like they do with all their potential stars. You mark my words.
Don't be surprised if he gets a German passport. Don't be surprised.
You know what?
We got Osorio. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We got Osorio.
It's too late. Davies is already capped. We're good. We're good. We can breathe. He's ours. He can't go anywhere.
Absolutely. So good luck to Team Canada.
Sinclair's breaking the record 3 games in.
And just another point, they had 2 players there who were absolutely phenomenal, number 15 and number 10. Anyways, make a long story short, I think they're going to do really well. My prediction is Canada will be in the final. Female World Cup final, you'll see Canada there in France. So good luck
prediction.
To
I like
absolutely,
that.
Absolutely. They pumped Mexico. They pumped them. And I think they're going to do it. They're going to go all the way. I hope so. We'll keep our fingers crossed. God bless the women. I got 2 daughters. I'd love to see them in the World Cup one day.
That'd be awesome.
Guys, our prediction for TFC for the next couple of games, what do you think's going to happen? We continue on the downward spiral, or do we drastically change and all of a sudden you see a resurrection? Dante?
No resurrection at all. No resurrection at all. This is going to get ugly. This is going to get ugly. Same stuff. I mean, I can't see anything changing. Altidore is just going to be completely frustrated. Pozuelo, who knows? He might even get another 2 yellows again for a red.
Yeah.
What do you think about his hair? I think since he dyed his hair, it's game over. It's game over.
He's just getting frustrated. He has nobody to play with. Like, it's just.
What do you mean? He was pretty excited at the Raptors game. You see him at the Raptors game?
With his kid,
Him and his kid cheering on the Raptors.
But that's the thing. They walk into the game, San Jose. Everyone's got the Raptors jersey on. They're not even focusing on this game. It's all about the Raptors.
Well, it is for now.
Listen, I've heard people say TFC's not getting a point until August. I don't buy that at all. Pozuelo and Altidore haven't played together yet since Altidore's been back. Once those two get back, Pozuelo's not hurt. He was on the red card suspension. He comes back. If Bradley's hurt a little bit and we can get Frazier more time in there, all the better. You'll watch. Those two will start hooking up again. We'll turn this thing around. I'm not very worried. I'm a little worried, but TFC will turn around. They'll start getting points starting this Friday.
No shot. No shot.
I think the players will step up and turn around and say, you know what, we have to start coaching ourselves. And some teams, when they see that their coach is losing their mind, most players will step up.
You guys are so Canadian, so positive.
Michael Bradley's not going to do it. He's a leader.
So Canadian.
He doesn't even open his mouth. I watched an interview with him on YouTube.
Because he's not happy with his coach.
He was on an interview the other day and he was stumbling on every single word. So what are we going to do? Well, you know, we got to just, you know, we had some good games here and there. You should have said, we've been playing like shit. We got to do better. It's my fault. Mea culpa. Where is he?
You know what he's going to do better, Mark? Bradley will do better when he grows hair. That's
He's got to do the Steven Seagal ponytail. Bradley, I'm calling you all.
We got an easy schedule coming out. We got some easy games coming up.
Marco, your final words.
I want to see a couple statement games out of him. I want to see some fire coming off the bench. I honestly think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. So good luck to TFC.
100%. To close off, I'm in agreement with you, Mario. I got to tell you guys that since day one of this podcast, I've been telling you I smell trouble here at TFC. I've been soccer long enough to tell you that these players are not gelling. The coach is completely out of the picture. Management is out of touch. Things will get much worse before they get better. You mark my words. I do believe the Vanny will be gone before the end of the season because you're going to see a slide. They may not see any points until August. If that happens, Vanny's gone. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in today. I want to thank our sponsors, Popeye Supplements here in Woodbridge. They actually got 4 locations. If you're working out, you need to check these guys out. Best prices and supplements in the GTA. And my friend Louie from 9 Round Kickboxing and Fitness running a massive competition, a little contest where if you do enough kicks, you could win these customized boxing gloves. Check out Louie, 9 Round Fitness. Also check out our friends from TFC on the Road. They are organizing an amazing trip to Montreal on July the 13th, I believe. Check him out. And people, watch us next week. We might have some special surprises. And I want to thank the real Marco G for the new setup, our new studio. Check it out. Looks fantastic. Visit us here at GTA Sportsplex. And check out the new SoundCloud and the new audio. It is on the website. Where can they find it, Mario?
TFCRoundtable.com.
There you go. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control. And if you can take it, it's all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about pay. And who's gonna make it?